You know, when someone walks into my shop with an old coin, they're holding a piece of history. A really, really old piece of history. We have to go way back to around 600 BCE. That's when the first coins started popping up in a place called Lydia, which is in modern-day Turkey. Now, these weren't pure silver. The Lydians used something called electrum. That's a natural mix of gold and silver. They stamped these little metal blobs with a design, and bam, you had money. It was a huge deal. Suddenly, you didn't have to trade 3 chickens for a pot. You had a standard value. The ancient Greeks saw this brilliant idea and ran with it. They were masters of their craft. They figured out how to separate the gold from the silver, creating some of the most beautiful coins ever made. Think of the Athenian owl tetradrachm. These things were pure art, and they were trusted everywhere. Sailors and merchants carried these silver coins all over the Mediterranean. It was the world's first international currency, really. The weight and purity were reliable. That reliability is what built empires. It fueled trade, funded armies, and paid for incredible buildings that we still marvel at today. Then you have the Romans. If the Greeks perfected the art, the Romans perfected the system. They created the denarius, a silver coin that became the backbone of their massive empire. For hundreds of years, from Britain to Egypt, the denarius was the coin of the realm. It paid the legionaries who conquered new lands and the workers who built the aqueducts. The Romans knew that controlling the money meant controlling the world. When you see a Roman denarius, you're looking at a tool that held together one of the greatest empires in human history. It's more than just silver. It's a symbol of immense power. Of course, nothing lasts forever. As the Roman Empire started to have problems, so did its money. The emperors started putting less and less silver in each denarius to save money. This is what we call debasement. People weren't stupid. They knew the coins weren't worth as much. This led to inflation and economic chaos. It's a story we see again and again in history. The quality of a nation's money often tells you the story of the nation itself. That little piece of silver can tell you if things were going great or if it was all about to fall apart. Fast forward 1,000 years or so. After the Romans, coinage was a bit of a mess for a while. But then, a new superstar entered the scene. I'm talking about the Spanish piece of 8. Officially, it was the Spanish dollar, or real de a ocho. Mined in staggering quantities from places like Mexico and Peru, this coin became the world's first truly global currency. From the 1500s to the 1800s, this was the coin everyone wanted. It was big, it was heavy, and it was packed with high-quality silver. You could spend it in China, in the American colonies, in Africa, anywhere. Think about pirates. What were they always burying in treasure chests? Pieces of 8. That's not just a Hollywood story. These coins were so valuable and so common on the high seas that they were the main target for buccaneers. The design was iconic, with the Pillars of Hercules and the Spanish coat of arms. The Spanish were pumping these coins out by the millions, and they oiled the wheels of international trade. They connected the old world with the new world in a way nothing had before. When you hold one, you can almost feel the adventures it has been on, crossing oceans and changing hands countless times. The influence of the piece of 8 was so huge that it shaped the money of other countries, including a brand new nation called the United States. In the American colonies, British money was scarce, so Spanish silver was the de facto currency. People would even cut the coins into smaller bits to make change. That's where the old saying, 2 bits for a quarter, comes from. The coin was so trusted that it remained legal tender in the US all the way until 1857. It was the benchmark, the gold standard of silver coins that everyone else measured themselves against. What you have with the piece of 8 is a perfect storm of supply and demand. The Spanish had access to incredible silver mines in their new colonies. The world, especially a trade-hungry Asia, had a huge appetite for silver. The Spanish dollar bridged that gap. It financed wars, built palaces, and created immense fortunes. It's a story of conquest, trade, and the incredible power of a single, well-made coin. It's one of my favorite things to see in the shop, because every single one tells a story of global adventure. After the American Revolution, the new United States had a big problem. It needed its own money. The leaders, guys like Thomas Jefferson and Alexander Hamilton, knew that a strong nation needed a strong, reliable currency. They looked to the most trusted coin around, the Spanish piece of 8. The Coinage Act of 1792 was passed, and it established the US Mint. More importantly, it authorized the creation of the first American silver coins, including the mighty silver dollar, which was based directly on the size and weight of the Spanish dollar. This was America planting its flag in the world of finance. The first US silver dollars, dimes, and quarters started rolling out of the mint in Philadelphia. These early coins are incredibly rare and valuable today. They weren't just money, they were symbols of independence. The designs featured Lady Liberty on one side and a proud bald eagle on the other. This was America telling the world, "We are here, and this is our money." For the average person, using these new American coins in daily life was a point of pride. It was a tangible piece of their newfound freedom, a sign that they were part of a new sovereign nation with its own identity. Throughout the 19th century, silver was king in America. We had massive silver discoveries out west, like the Comstock Lode, which pumped enormous wealth into the nation. This led to iconic coins like the Morgan silver dollar, one of the most collected coins in the world. These big, heavy silver dollars represent the Wild West, the boom of the railroads, and America's industrial expansion. They were workhorse coins, carried in the pockets of cowboys, bankers, and farmers alike. When you hold a Morgan dollar, you are holding a piece of the American frontier. But the love affair with silver in our daily money couldn't last. By the 20th century, the world was changing. The price of silver started to climb. It got to a point where the silver metal in a dime or a quarter was worth more than the face value of the coin itself. When that happens, people hoard the coins instead of spending them. The government had to act. The Coinage Act of 1965 officially ended the use of silver in circulating dimes and quarters, switching to the copper-nickel coins we use today. It was the end of an era. So, silver disappeared from our pocket change. Did people stop caring about silver coins? Absolutely not. In fact, the opposite happened. Once silver coins became history, they became collectibles. People who had saved old silver dimes and quarters suddenly found themselves with a valuable stash. The hobby of coin collecting, or numismatics, exploded. People started looking at their coins not just as money, but as artifacts with historical significance, rarity, and melt value. A simple 1964 quarter wasn't just 25 cents anymore. It was 90% pure silver. The US Mint understood this new demand perfectly. They knew people still loved the weight and beauty of a real silver coin. So, in 1986, they introduced the American Silver Eagle. This wasn't a coin for buying groceries. It was a bullion coin, containing 1 full ounce of .999 pure silver. It featured the classic Walking Liberty design, one of the most beautiful designs in American coin history. It became an instant hit with both investors who wanted to own pure silver and collectors who loved the design. It's now the most popular silver bullion coin in the world. Today, the world of silver coins is more exciting than ever. You have investors who buy silver coins as a hedge against inflation. They're buying the metal itself, and coins are an easy way to do it. Then you have the collectors who are looking for rarity, condition, and a good story. The US Mint feeds this passion by releasing special commemorative silver coins. Just look at the excitement for the upcoming Marine Corps 250th anniversary silver coin, set for release on November 10, 2025. With a limited mintage and a design that honors the Marines, it's expected to sell out instantly. So, the legacy of silver is alive and well. It has traveled from an ancient kingdom in Turkey to the pockets of American colonists, and now into the hands of modern collectors and investors. The price of silver is high right now, around $45 to $53 an ounce, so people are digging through their drawers again, looking for that shiny treasure. Whether it's an ancient Roman denarius or a brand new American eagle, a silver coin is never just a piece of metal. It's a story, an investment, and a direct connection to our shared past. And you never know what's going to come through that door.